I spent 51 days on board the research vessel ORV Algeta on a 7,000-mile voyage, studying the growing problem of the plastic trash floating around in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
This right here, this is all plastic.
As an underwater videographer, I took every opportunity I could to dive in and see firsthand what this plastic is doing to our marine ecosystem. These are just some of the things I observed and or encountered along the way. This is a journey to the center of the trash. All along the voyage, we observed, collected, and analyzed all sorts of plastic. We collected everything from large plastic fishing floats to small tiny fragments of plastic bag. And although we were gathering valuable data from our trawling samples that showed the plastic intermixed with the plankton, as an underwater videographer, I wanted to see what it looked like from the water's perspective.
This is the epitome of blue water diving, so let's go have some fun.
Even as an experienced dive instructor, I never got used to looking down and seeing 25,000 feet of blue abyss underneath me. However, it never took long to start seeing all the pelagic invertebrates of all types drifting along with the smaller plankton organisms. The term plankton comes from Greek for drifter or wanderer, and it basically means any life form that cannot swim against the ocean currents. And since plastic falls under that same definition, it makes sense that the ocean currents that direct where plankton concentrates would also control the concentrations of plastic. What I soon discovered was in areas where the plankton was in high concentration, so was the plastic. Often I would find plastic and plankton organisms floating side by side in the water. Each time I slipped beneath the waves, I couldn't help but to think, how do the passive plankton feeders tell the difference between plankton and plastic? If they're feeding on these clouds of nutritious plankton, they have no choice but to ingest the plastic. Here you can clearly see a fragment of white plastic bag floating amongst the plankton. One calm afternoon, we came across an apparent plankton bloom that looked more like a golden path spread across the ocean's surface for miles as far as the eye could see. As soon as we entered the plankton bloom, we started finding plastic. But when we stopped to recover an abandoned fishing net, I jumped in to see if there was a correlation between the plankton concentration and plastic. The first thing I noticed was the ominous green haze created by the plankton. As the captain and the rest of the crew gathered up the abandoned fishing net, I discovered my theory was correct. Within a short distance, I found numerous pieces of plastic, from medium-sized containers and small plastic bottles to fragments and fibers, some floating on the surface, some drifting along almost 30 feet down. It was often difficult for me to tell the difference between living organisms and the plastic fibers I was gathering with my net. Based on my observations on this voyage, there is a direct correlation between concentrations of plankton and plastic.